What's up, YouTube? Today's video, how to start a microworm culture. I just fed some to my fish, but as you can see, hopefully, there's a lot more microworms in there. However, this culture of microworms, which was my first, is going a little rancid, and you can smell it. It doesn't smell the freshest, so it's not going to last much longer. It's been about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And yeah, it's soupy. You could see all of them. See them moving down there. So microworms are still in there. It's just I'm going to start another culture so that I keep things going here. So what we're going to need for this is you're going to need a container. This is a perfect container, by the way. This is a container I got from the supermarket after I ate some trail mix in it. You're going to need a container with a cover on it that you can poke holes into. I don't know if you can see this, but I poked holes into this cover so that way microworms can breathe a little bit. Yeah. Second thing you're going to need, the way I do it at least, other people do use different things, but I use white bread. This is a very stale white hot dog bread. So, and the last thing you're going to need is some yeast. You just need some water after that. And I have a measuring cup here to put some water in. And I'm just going to show you how I do this. So, what you want to do first is put your white bread in there, in the new container. I'm also going to show you that I'm not going to punch holes in this cover because this is Tupperware. So, it's highly reusable, and I might use it for something else later on after my worm cultures. Next step is just to get some water. On the measuring cup, I go to about 2 ounces, and so I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, now remember, this is the way I do it. There's no wrong way if it works. So, but I like to put the yeast in the water and mix it up a little bit so that it dissolves a little bit into the water. So I'm opening up my yeast packet. Sorry about the bouncing around. And I put some pellets of yeast in there. Should be enough. That's actually a lot, so I might want to douse that more. But again, I have a big Tupperware thing here to fill. You gotta love it when your wife wants to get rid of her Tupperware and you're like, I'll take that. I'm just swishing it around. Okay, it's gonna dissolve some of the yeast. And then you just want to pour it evenly on the bread. You want to saturate the bread. You don't want to go overboard either. Just want to saturate the bread. Okay, that was 2 ounces of water. Now, poured that on the bread. You see that there's a little water underneath? Don't worry, it'll evaporate or eventually get soaked up in the bread. If you have a lot of leftover water on the bottom, just take more bread, soak it up, okay? The last step, which you do not have to do by hand, but I do, is you just grab some of your old culture. Okay, you get right in there with your finger or a spoon or something, and everything's gonna be microworms here. That's all microworms. And you just put it right on top of the bread. Okay? I'm gonna get a little bit more. It's very soupy. Put it on top of the bread. A little bit more, because this is a big one. Okay, if you have a small container, obviously you don't want to do a lot of this. I'm just coating it on some of the bread. Yummy. Fish love this stuff. And that's it. Let's coat the bread. Got that little piece of bread to coat. And then, if you have a container where you could poke holes in the top of it, you would punch a couple holes. You can make them small so that other flies can get in there. It's winter in New England right now, so I don't have a problem with flies, fruit flies, anything like that right now. But what you can also do is you can get a thing of aluminum foil, which is what I'm going to do, and just poke a couple holes in it. So I'll be right back, and I'll show you what it looks like. So unfortunately, I ran out of aluminum foil. However, this is an old culture that is actually getting there. So it takes about 5 to 7 days, at least in my house, to get a good culture walking up the walls. If not, you can use plastic wrap and just poke some holes in there. Okay, you just want something that's gonna keep the worms in there and keep it warm. I prefer aluminum foil, but just get something you can poke holes into. And like I said, you just put it room temperature. The hotter your room, the quicker they reproduce. But I'm in the middle of winter here in New England, so it's about 65 in the house at all times. And it took about 5 to 7 days to get the microworms really climbing up on the sides. And yeah, you just want to do this like every 2 to 3 weeks to make sure that you have a good culture. I have about 4 cultures working at the same time. And yeah, that's how you cultivate microworms. Excellent food for guppies, bettas. I really got into it from my Corydoras fry. I actually bred those, and they're really, really small. So microworms are the perfect food because they're so small that the Corydoras will eat them. So I hope you enjoyed this video and hope this helped, and let me know if you need any help. All right, thanks.